there is a coronal hole forming on the northern hemisphere of the sun that could be hypersymmetric with an earthquake in the northern hemisphere. And I'm suspecting that California might be a possibility for this, and I wanted to mention it just because I'm here in California. I haven't been following these. I haven't been lining them up or even trying to line them up over the past couple of weeks. I've kind of lost my confidence that I can move my people on this. And nevertheless, I want to go ahead and say that there is probably a 15 to 25% probability that there would be a hypersymmetric earthquake with this particular coronal hole that would be somewhere in California. Unfortunately, from the hypertime mapping, I haven't made any progress in sorting out the details, and this is the most difficult time of the year to line these up, because the Earth's tilt on the axis is at almost full 23.5 degrees away from the sun, and so depending on the time of day, the quake would be hypersymmetric. There is a different position. There's a 47 degree margin of error, since the hypertime map is unknown, since the way that the time maps to the surfaces is presently unknown. I'm hoping that someday that'll be unraveled. There's a good possibility, I believe, that will be hammered out at some point and make these sorts of predictions a lot more accurate. Now, the other thing I want to note is that I have verified that the composite nature of the energy signature we see in the higher energy forms, the composite nature being the fact that water movement appears bright in the higher frequencies, as the Earth movement appears dark in the higher frequencies. That particular relationship, that composite relationship, definitely affects the ability to see the holes. In other words, sometimes you see a dark area that has a bright part over it, a bright spot over it, and that composite nature is going to be a challenge also for sorting out what the magnitude of these events would be. This particular coronal hole is fairly clearly defined, and that indicates to me that this hole is probably not going to be hypersymmetric with a quake on an island. In other words, this doesn't look like an island quake. This looks like a continental quake, a quake that would be happening on in an interior of a continent rather than in an area where there's water. And so we're looking at the Asiatic, European continent, and the North American continent as the most likely. It's possible that it'll be higher up because of that 47 degree margin of error. It's possible that it'll be higher up, but it's also possible that it will be one of these other places. And just based on the probabilities of the fact that there are likely earthquake areas, that's where I'm getting the 25%, 15 to 25% possibility of a quake. And judging from the size of the hole, I would say magnitude of 5.5, something like that, in one of these regions. As high as 6, maybe as high as 6.3. The hole's not done growing, and this would probably be within the next 6 days, I would imagine, that we'll see the hypersymmetric event that's associated with this particular hole.